And so the apostle says, who will separate us from the love of Christ? Shall tribulation, or distress, or persecution, or famine, or nakedness, or peril, or sword? As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all day long. We are counted as sheep to the slaughter. So what the apostle is saying, God, for your sake. That means I don't care about my livelihood. I don't care about my lifestyle. So if you're a man out there and you have a child out there and you're not taking care of your children, you have to reach to that point where you say, I don't care about my lifestyle. I don't care what my wife is going to say. I got to make sure that child eating at night. It's impossible for me not to know that child. It's impossible for me to go ahead and kill that child. You just can't do it. Because that's what it means to love thy neighbor as thyself. Where you willing to give up everything for the love of God. And as it is written, listen to this. In all things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. And that's the key. There's 20 people trying to walk this alone or trying to go through this alone. You are more than conquerors, not because you have a great job. You're more than conquerors, not because you have money in the bank. You're more than conquerors, not because you have family or friends or things. You're more than conquerors through him who loved us. It's through Christ. I can do anything through Christ who strengthens me. And just know that and believe that. That's what you have to believe. There's too much people believe that you need money. See, let me tell you what the problem is, and I'm always going to repeat this. People in life are struggling with hunger. They're struggling with homelessness. They're struggling with marriages. I mean, they're struggling with everything. But what God is telling you is that you don't struggle with flesh and blood. You don't struggle for food. It's not your struggle in life. You struggle and you wrestle with evils and principalities out of darkness in high places, but you're fighting against the demons. It's a demon of poverty. It's a demon of divorce. It's a demon of mental health. It's all of these demons that's coming against you. And so every day you're worrying about how much money you need to make it to the next day. And what God is saying is, be still and know that I am God. I feed even the birds. So you're worrying about all of these things that it's not worth it. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your strength. It's not worth your emotions. It's definitely not worth your tears. You're running after this man who don't love you. It's not worth your life. Again, you chasing that lifestyle, not knowing that the earth is not your home. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any creature shall be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Christ Jesus. And that's the key. Not death, not life, not any principalities. And that's the thing. It's so many people walking around fearful. It's like these demons have everyone fearful. What I'm trying to tell you is this. If the opium man had a pint of my blood, he couldn't affect me. Because what you understand is that you covered. If God is with me, then who could be against me? That's a joke. Satan is a joke. These demons are a joke. Corona is a joke. And it's not to say that you shouldn't protect yourself. It is to say that if you have God with you, then why are you worrying? Remember, God was in the middle of a hurricane. And he got up and he said, oh, you have little faith. So this hurricane Corona, you in the middle of this. And yet you're faithless. And you're screaming, God save us. And God is going to wake up and say, oh, you have little faith. What I'm trying to say is, even if you don't have that faith, just your love for God alone will bring you through this. Because what you understand is, what Satan simply wants is your soul for cheap. He wants you to sacrifice your morals. He wants you to turn your back on God. Remember, skin for skin. He wants you to think that you have to do anything necessary in order to preserve your lifestyle. And what Jesus said, just love me, that's it. Once you love me, any and everything is possible through me. Just ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you shall find. Knocking doors should be open. That's how easy it is. That's what peace of mind is. That's why Jesus is the Prince of Peace. And so now let's go on. And let's look at Satan. That's how we're going to end this. And we're in 2 Corinthians chapter 4. And listen to what God says about Satan. And listen closely. In their case, the God of this world has blinded the minds of the unbelievers to keep them from seeing the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is in the image of God. So in their case, the God of this world, and that's what I want you to understand, the God of this world has blinded the minds of the unbelievers. So what does it mean when it says the God of this world? What I'm trying to tell you is this. God said to live in this world but not be of this world. That means that you're here and you're here for a limited time. But you're not of this world. This world doesn't define you. And once you understand that, you understand the key to life. This world doesn't define you. The things that's going on in this world doesn't define you. There's too many people that will look at their life and say that I'm a success because I'm Dr. So-and-so. Or I'm this MP. And they're allowing the world to define them. There's too many people in this world would say that, you know what, I'm poor. I'm just a poor man. Or I don't have anything. Because again, you're allowing the world to define you. And what God is saying is this. Be not of this world. Conform not to this world. And that's what Corona is doing right now. Corona is trying to define you. Corona is trying to tell you who you are. So if your business was already struggling, and now you feel like you're going to lose your business, you feel like you're a failure. If you're already sick, and you feel like, you know what? I'm about to get even sicker. Anything could take me out. So now you have the gift of fear. Corona is trying to define you. And what I'm trying to tell you is, if you're real gold, if you're a real Christian, it doesn't matter what's going on out there. You are what you are. That's why God says, I am that I am. I am the great I am. Before Moses was, I am. And that's what Jesus said. What Jesus is trying to tell you is that no matter what's happening, no matter how bad it gets, a lion will never eat grass. No matter how bad it gets, gold will never rust. That's impossible. No matter how bad it gets, I'm a Christian. I'm never going to beg for bread. I'm never going to put this life over the next, because you understand to be all this body, spirit, Christ. You can't trade eternity for 70 years. So what you're going to understand is I don't care about Corona, because that's what they're telling you. That's what the false prophets are telling you. That's what they're pushing at you. What you understand is what God said, and what did God say? Be still and know that I am God. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.
The views expressed on this program are not the views of ZNS TV 13 and, by extension, the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Let's stay COVID-free. Remember the 3 S's. Sanitize, social distance, and stay inside.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
I'm Jiminita Swain. Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, the weekend edition. The British Colonial Hilton Hotel pushing back its reopening plans until further notice. Water disruption in portions of the capital. And beachgoers taking advantage of a picture-perfect day. Those stories and more after the break.
Hepatitis is the inflammation of the liver, which is the organ responsible for filtering toxins from the body, producing bile for digestion, and producing proteins and clotting factors. The most important cause of hepatitis worldwide is viruses, of which there are 5 main types: A, B, C, D, and E. Hepatitis B and C are major health challenges globally, affecting over 300 million persons worldwide. The suspicion of hepatitis may be a challenge, as there are typically no symptoms. However, if infected, non-specific symptoms may include decreased appetite, nausea, vague abdominal discomfort, jaundice or yellow eyes, and abnormal liver function tests. If not treated, hepatitis of any type can lead to cirrhosis and liver cancer, which leads to over 1 million deaths worldwide. If you suspect you may have been exposed to the virus that causes hepatitis, talk to your doctor today and get tested.
This public service announcement is brought to you by the Public Hospitals Authority in conjunction with the Medical Association of the Bahamas and the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
Another life has been lost due to the COVID-19 virus, bringing the Bahamas' death toll to 74. Good evening, I'm Jiminy DeSwain. Welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. According to the Ministry of Health's delayed Saturday dashboard, the deceased is a 69-year-old man from New Providence who died on Friday. Health officials say 16 deaths are currently under investigation. The number of COVID-19 cases also jumped by 101 on Saturday. 69 cases in the capital, 8 on Grand Bahama, 1 in Exuma, and 23 cases are pending. The country now has a total of 3,315 confirmed cases. Of that number, 1,527 are active. Also tonight, it appears that the COVID-19 outbreak in the country is affecting the reopening plans of the British Colonial Hilton Hotel that had temporarily suspended operations. A letter issued to staff on Friday states that officials were hoping to resume operations in October, but that no longer is the case. Officials say they continue to see an increase in the virus with no flattening of the curve. As a result, the company is now faced with further extending the temporary suspension of its operations effective October 1st, 2020 until further notice. The hotel reminded its staff that the National Insurance Board has launched an extended unemployment benefits program, citing difficult times. Resort officials assured staff that they are considering all possible measures to assist during these unforeseen times. In the interim, it encourages staff to stay as safe as possible. Well, the National Food Distribution Task Force will see its work extended into October, but social services officials making it clear that persons should not double dip when it comes to food assistance. While unable to provide a number for applicants needing assistance, Social Services and Urban Development Minister, the Honorable Frankie Campbell, suggested some persons may have done it due to some delay and opted to try another avenue, but he discourages it for this reason.
But the fact of the matter is, both assistances are being provided by the same one government. And so if it is allowed for persons to double dip, for lack of a better word, it then denies some other person of the opportunity of receiving some assistance. And you have to appreciate the numbers of persons who are likely to be seeking assistance owing to the downturn in the economy necessitates our ensuring that whatever is available is spread out sufficiently that everyone can get a slice of the cake.
Meantime, Acting Director of Social Services Lillian Quant Forbes explained both forms of food assistance provided.
Difference between the National Food Distribution Task Force, that is a task force that was specifically designed and created to address the needs of persons who were affected as a result of COVID-19 and the downturn in the economy. As it relates to the emergency food assistance, the Department of Social Services offers assistance throughout the year, whenever the need is, whatever the need is. And so persons have gotten that assistance.
Well, the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic have been far-reaching, not only for schools and workplaces, but also for community-focused initiatives such as the Urban Renewal Program. While Urban Renewal has successfully organized a lunch feeding program for children this month, Center Manager for the Bain and Grantstown Urban Renewal Center, Maria Minez, says many of its programs had to be put on hold due to the highly contagious virus. Among the programs offered now and also on hold is the Seniors Program. Minez says she has no idea when they will resume.
We have the afternoon classes. We have computer classes. We're going to be doing the sewing. We have the sign language. You'll help me. We have the sign language, the band. Yes. You know, there's a lot of things that they were really looking forward to doing, you know, this year. But hopefully we'll get some stuff done. She's still gonna, you know, try and work with everybody. We're definitely going to be doing back to school program, which is going to be giving out the school bags. You know, we're still going to be doing that. So once the kids finish with the lunch program, which is the 30th, then once we get permission, we will be then holding a function for just them to come and get their bags for back to school.
Programs at all centers have been impacted, including the Fort Charlotte Center. Center Manager Karen Andrews shared how the center usually engages the community.
What we does here in Urban, at this center here, we have our afternoon program, we have our senior program, and with our senior, we know because they're senior, we try to do a lot of things for them. We try to keep their mind occupied because here it is that, you know, there has to be some place they want to go on, if only once a week or once a month. Sometimes we take them to the show. I take them to do their hair, to the hairdresser. We have different functions. Like we have, the last time our function was a tea party. And it was very successful where the seniors then model off their hats and, you know, their church clothes and so forth. And also what we are trying to do right now, we are putting a sewing thing in the centers now.
Well, officials at the Department of Immigration moving to have those operations go cashless in a matter of weeks. That from the Minister of Financial Services, Trade, Industry and Immigration, the Honorable Ellsworth Johnson. He told ZNS News his ministry, like others, are making adjustments to be more efficient, especially when working within this COVID-19 environment.
We're now in the process of seeing how we onboard our applications so that you could reduce that human interaction. And those things will significantly improve the way that we do business. Just like look at the passport office. And we're putting in place mechanisms that would significantly reduce the time that people wait to get documents. And the passport office is a glowing example. You don't no longer have to wait 2 weeks for a passport. I'm excited, I'm committed to it, and the Prime Minister has instructed that it must happen in order for us to be competitive.
While processing thousands of applications annually, the move now will be a digital one to make payments.
If you decide that you want to make an application to the Immigration Department, you upload it, you pay online, you don't have to come in. A lot of the complaints that we have now will just evaporate when we're able to do that. We want people to be able to do that so that you don't have to come out in the COVID-19 experience and come to pay. We're working hard to see how we could onboard applications and get that done. We're working with one of the best companies around the world. We have our experts hard at work, and that is one of the goals that we have.
For a third week now, churches have been allowed to resume in-person services at 33% capacity and following other COVID-19 safety protocols. Over at the Church of God of Prophecy, Angliston, Church Pastor Jahali Swan says it's good to be back, but he's very cognizant that COVID-19 still exists and advises that members that are elderly and vulnerable remain at home and take advantage of services they offer online. For those attending services in person, they were greeted with signage advising them to wear a mask, temperatures were checked, and social distancing markers were on the ground. Members from different households were also socially distanced on benches. Swan says it's important to gather in person, and while not all members are attending in person, the numbers are still representative of the congregation.
Wearing bearing in mind that we have an aging population of elders, it's not the most advisable thing that they come out to service on a frequent basis, but however, be able to touch them through the various mediums that we employ. And so I think we've been having good numbers, and it's growing. We have about 40 on the average. And so we have another participation on our RevGo and also Facebook and YouTube. So we think we have pretty good coverage, but there's always room for improvement.
Church First Lady Minister Angela Swan says she's excited about the resumption of in-person services as long as they can maintain safety protocols, which they've been doing. She says the church continues to welcome members through online platforms.
You can see we're starting to load up now because we should be starting at 10, but we welcome persons. Right now we already have 10, and when you see 10 persons, it can go up to much more than that. You know, that's just 10 online, and that doesn't count for who else is in the house. So those persons who for illnesses or age or whatever the reason can't come, we don't encourage them to come out, and they can still participate in the service online. For instance, this morning, we have someone that's going to be participating, making a presentation, and she actually is in Tennessee. So we welcome that.
For the most part, residents in Inagua remain in compliance with the COVID-19 protocols that include mask wearing, hand sanitizing, and social distancing. The most recent dashboard from the Ministry of Health puts COVID-19 cases on the island at 18. Island Administrator Marlon Leary says he's hoping for cooperation from everyone in order to slow the spread.
We have a fraction of our community where we have persons who continue to defy the laws and all the measures put in place, who continuously still have these private gatherings and party, and they practice no kind of social distance, and they don't want to wear masks. They try to elude the professionals, the police or whatever have you. They're still going about doing whatever they want to do. And I want to encourage my people to please cease and desist from this.
Also to come, a major water supply interruption in the capital. That story and more when the weekend edition continues.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ferguson. During this global pandemic, we ask for you to be responsible. As we fight this COVID-19 virus together, we would like to encourage you to do the following. Wash your hands. Cover your mouth and nose with a flexed elbow or tissue when coughing and sneezing. Please practice social distancing by staying 6 feet apart. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. If you must go out, wear a mask. We stay here for you. Please stay home for us. To those who are on the front line, we salute you as we continue this fight together.
This message has been brought to you by the Ministry of Health in conjunction with GD Media Solutions and this television station.
This portion of the news was brought to you by Sunoil Limited Shell, fueling journeys that matter.
Welcome back. The Water and Sewage Corporation experiencing a complete loss of electrical power at its Blue Hills water pumping station around 6 o'clock this morning, resulting in periods of low pressure and no water at all. The station supplies approximately 80% of water to customers in New Providence. Bahamas Power and Light was notified and the power supply was restored around 9 a.m. Normal water supply has now been restored to all impacted customers. It was determined that the generator's cooling system had a fault which had to be repaired Any customers still experiencing any water supply or water quality challenges are asked to contact the Water and Sewage Corporation call center at 302-5599. The corporation apologizes for any inconvenience caused. From the Daily Crime Report, police on Grand Bahama are investigating an apparent attempted suicide. Shortly before 9 p.m. Saturday, officers while on patrol in the Williamstown area were alerted that a female was found in the sea attempting to take her own life. EMS personnel were called to the scene and transported the female to the Rand Memorial Hospital, where she is under doctor's care. Police on the island of Bimini are investigating a shooting incident there. Shortly before 11 p.m. Saturday, police were called to the Bimini Clinic, where a male reported that while at a local resort sitting in his vehicle, he was approached by another male known to him who produced a handgun and opened fire. He was transported to the clinic with non-life-threatening injuries. Now, Operation Lockdown on the islands of Grand Bahama and Abaco continued overnight between the hours of 6 p.m. and 4 a.m. There were 23 citations for persons not wearing face masks, 5 arrests for persons with outstanding warrants on arrest, and 9 arrests for breach of curfew. Back here in the capital, officers of the Central Division arrested a prolific offender who was wanted for a number of shop breaking and stealing matters between July and September 2020. The 35-year-old of 8 Mile Rock is well known to police. He is expected to be arraigned in the magistrate's court early this week. Well, we have an update tonight from the Royal Bahamas Defense Force in connection to the grounding of the HMBS Cascarilla. 4 of the 5 crew members who were airlifted for medical care yesterday have been discharged. One officer had to be admitted, but she is in stable condition and expected to make a full recovery. The vessel itself has not sustained any material damage and remains operational. Well, a public viewing for the late Dr. Hugh Roach will take place tomorrow between the hours of 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. at the William Thompson Auditorium on Jean Street. The Governor General will view the body at 9:15. A service of Thanksgiving will be held at 11 a.m. Tuesday at the same location. Burial will follow at the Woodlawn Gardens. Now, Pastor Roach was a leader and a past president of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, making a notable impact not only in the community, or rather not only in the church, but in the community as well. He served in various capacities in the Adventist community, including becoming the first Bahamian principal of Bahamas Academy, parliamentary chaplain, and worked extensively within the National Drug Council in its early days. Be sure to tune into the morning edition tomorrow at 8 a.m. for a special look back on the life and legacy of Pastor Hugh Roach. Well, as Bahamians continue to navigate their way through the COVID-19 pandemic, the Roots pop-up market is providing an outlet for those who want to take advantage. Our Kelsey Johnson popped in to take a look.
Christmas is months away, but here at Samho Enterprises, we are hanging the decorations early. The handmade Christmas ornaments are just a few of the goodies that were available on Saturday at the Roots pop-up market. Handcraft designer Thomas Wilson had bejeweled pieces made from seashells, raised beds, and pine cone artwork. The young entrepreneur decided to put his skills to the test in March as a result of the coronavirus. Here's how it's all done.
For example, ornaments, we make them in stages. So we take all the shells, we put them together, we got to clean them, and then we do the painting and the varnishing and then the decorating at the end. And with the raised beds, we make them in intervals as well. So we make like 4 or 5 at a time. We do the sanding, we do the cutting, the painting and everything, and we put them together, line them and everything. Well, with the raised beds, my inspiration was actually quarantine. You know, we couldn't go back in the market anymore, so we had to improvise. So I started making the raised beds because everybody was getting into gardening, And yeah, that's basically the inspiration behind the raised beds.
Here at Roots Market, you can wind down with a deep tissue massage, or you can take a sip of a refreshing cup of lemonade made by Fresh Sip.
This is a place for natural and local entrepreneurs to sell natural goods. And this here is all about cultivating the mindset and the collaborative effort to bring us back to natural living, natural resources, and of course using, like you said, our gifts and our talents to be able to sustain ourselves during these times. And I think it's great for everyone to come together and to showcase their own products and their gifts and see how we can build ourselves from this.
All seen my dance moves before, but now it's time to check out my vocals. Kelsey Johnson, ZNS. Okay, that's not working for me, so I'll stick to my regular routine. Kelsey Johnson and ZNS Network News.
Back shorelines as far as the eye could see. That was the scene here in New Providence this morning as beachgoers took advantage of the wee morning hours in an effort to get in a quick swim. Anthony Smith has the details.
On a day packing scorching hot temperatures.
I don't know what's going on lately, but it's getting extra hot, you know.
Scores of residents ditched their regular Sunday routine, instead opting for a day at the beach.
Well, me and my brother are going to build sandcastles with us excavator. I'm going to play with the toy.
This family, just one of the many who made Beaches Island-wide their playground for the day. For them and many others, a wade in the water and a chance to lay off in the sand is about more than just getting out of the house. It's about a chance to adjust to the new normal.
But like I told you, we love the beach. We come on the beach, I get to clear my head, read my Bible, and bring my kids to burn some energy. Whenever I get a chance to come out, I would come out in the morning from maybe 10 until 12. Even if I only get 1 hour, it's fine. But I wish it could stay open longer, please.
Regulations under the COVID-19 emergency orders restrict residents from visiting the beach beyond the 12 o'clock hour. But even up to 20 minutes before, the seaside appeared just the way it had hours earlier, packed. The zest for more fun in the sun echoed by this passionate plea from this beachgoer for more time.
As much as I enjoy the beach, I wish that they could extend the hours for us, you know, because a lot of people like myself couldn't wake up on time. And, you know, the sun is just coming out this kind of time, you know. We like the evening, like 5, 6. We need it a little later. This rushing for till 12 o'clock is not good enough for us. We need our evening time in the water to enjoy ourselves, you know. Seriously, we need it. This isn't something that we want.
While a quick check-in from police persuaded some to leave, the sentiment among residents remains clear.
Man, you know, I would wish that the hours get extended a bit, even if it's just to 3 o'clock, you know. It's too much of a rush, and then with the extended beach hours, then you won't have that mass influx of persons trying to get out here just to get a couple of hours in. You know, if it's spread out, then some persons might come early, some persons come later.
Anthony Smith, ZNS Network News.
Stay tuned to check on weather is next.
He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Sun Oil, caring, invested, committed.
When a hurricane watch or warning has been issued, it is extremely important to be prepared and know just what to do. Stay informed about the storm's path by listening to the radio or television for hurricane progress reports. Check emergency food and household supplies. Be sure you have extra batteries for flashlights and radios. Bring in outdoor items like lawn furniture and garden tools. Anchor objects that cannot be brought inside. Secure buildings by closing and boarding up windows. Remove outside antennas and satellite dishes. Turn refrigerators and freezers to the coldest settings, opening only when absolutely necessary and closing quickly. Purchase ice and store it in an ice chest. Keep drinking water in clean jugs and bottles. Clean your bathtub with bleach and fill it with water for washing and flushing, not for drinking, making sure to keep the bathroom door closed so that small children cannot access the filled tub. Do not go out to videotape or take photos of the storm. Take pictures from inside where it is safe and dry. There is no harm in being overly cautious where a hurricane is concerned. It is truly better to be safe than sorry. This public service announcement has been brought to you by the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas in conjunction with the National Emergency Management Agency.
Time now for a check on tonight's weather forecast. Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean joins us in studio with the latest temperatures. A beautiful day, Basil. Good evening.
Yes, Jimenita, not a bad day at all, but that will change slightly, and we'll tell you why that will happen in a short while. But right now, outside of our studios, we are under partly cloudy skies, temperature 86 degrees, the relative humidity at 74%. We have winds out of the northwest at 6 miles per hour, the barometric pressure of 1,011.9 millibars, that's 29.89 inches, and the pressure is steady. Temperatures around the islands this evening, we're picking up 86 degrees in Freeport, Grand Bahama, Green, Tulkey, 86, 84 in Marsh, Hababico, and the Berry Islands, 85 degrees, 85 also in Bimini, 85 in Harbor Island, Rock, Sound, Eleuthera, and Fresh Creek, Central Andrews, they also have a temperature of 85 degrees. In San Salvador and Rumkey, also Georgetown, Exuma, 84 degrees, 84 in Ragged Island, Clarence, Down Long Island, Crooked Island, Betsy Bay, Meguana, 83, Acklands, 83 degrees, Matchingtown, Inagua, and the Turks and Caicos Islands also reporting 83 degrees. And your boating forecast tonight in the northwest and central islands right through Monday, you can expect east to southeast winds to speeds around 15 knots or so, wave heights 3 to 5 feet with a moderate chop. Low tide tonight at 11:03. You can expect another low tide tomorrow morning at 11:56. And for the southeast Bahamas through Monday, easterly winds 10 to 15 knots, wave heights 2 to 4 feet over the ocean. Now for some international temperatures.
Sailor man sound, Crawley Gray, your boat needed filling out. Yeah, the sailor man sound. If you wanna go to heaven, put the radar on your head.
And that's got to do it for your international temperatures. Now we take you into the tropics and we get you started with Hurricane Teddy, which is now a Category 2 hurricane. It's packing winds of 105 miles per hour, moving towards the north-northwest at about 9 miles per hour. And the forecast track should keep it just slightly to the east of Bermuda, but they will begin experiencing some tropical storm conditions later on tonight and tomorrow morning thereabout. The center of circulation is expected to pass well to the east of the island of Bermuda. And then we take you to Wilfred. Wilfred is now just a tropical depression that happened this afternoon. It will continue to weaken, and we expect it to become just a remnant low pressure sometime by Tuesday of this week. And then the Gulf of Mexico, Beta is out there, still moving towards the west-northwest at about 9 miles per hour as well. The maximum sustained winds in this system at 60 miles per hour, and we don't anticipate much change in intensity over the next 24 hours before it makes landfall over the Texas coast, and that is expected to happen sometime tomorrow evening. But again, the leading edge of the tropical storm force winds and the rain systems associated with this will start to impact the coast beginning tonight. Once it moves inland, we expect rapid deterioration of this system, turning north and then northeast, racing across the Gulf Coast states of the United States before moving over the Carolinas once again and over the open waters of the Atlantic. On our satellite picture, we're showing a weak high pressure system across the Bahamas, which will start to build slightly tomorrow. So you'll see some elevation in the winds, particularly over the northwest and central Bahamas, getting up perhaps to about 12 to 18 knots tomorrow. As you saw in the boating forecast, wave heights around 3 to 5 feet over the ocean. In the southeast Bahamas, not too bad there. The winds a little light, 10 to 15 knots out of the east. In our forecast for tonight, we're going in for mostly cloudy conditions, but that will happen late right now. We have a mixed bag going on right now. A couple of showers will develop as we head into sunrise. 79 degrees for your low temperature. Tomorrow, we're looking at partly sunny conditions, but there will be a few showers, particularly in the morning. The winds increasing in the afternoon over the northwest Bahamas. High temperature tomorrow, 87 degrees. The extended weather forecast over the next 7 days, we expect those showers to continue off and on, isolated nature, into Tuesday, drying out a bit as we head into the middle part of next week, where the temperatures once again will rebound into the low 90s. Jiminita?
Thanks, Basil. And with that, we end the weekend edition. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your #1 news and information network. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. For all of us here, I'm Jiminita Swade. Thanks for watching and good night.
You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.